Hello everybody, welcome back to another video of Planet Zoo. We are back to build ourselves the Specticaled Caiman habitat. For the moment I am currently fixing the pathway because it looks a little jagged, and I was going to go for a longer pathway in any case. The shorter path wasn't really working for me. Pretty much just flattening out the area and running this longer path along pretty much everywhere, and we're going to bridge that across to there, and now I'm gonna try and decide where I'm gonna start building this, and I decided on building it near the staff path. So I'm also gonna go again, and I created this custom wooden log fence that I thought is gonna be wonderful for the barrier around the Specticaled Caiman habitat. And they don't really need much of a big habitat. They are really small reptiles. So building it big enough so that they have space, but also small enough for them to kind of live humbly and peacefully, and just placing these log fencing around. I wanted to build them custom before shooting the episode because for one reason it took me a while. So, and I did plan on building a custom fence for this episode because it just looks so much better. And placing a keeper gate in here turned out to be a bit of a challenge, but placing the log fencing all around is pretty much a rough piece, and placing out the null barrier is also a bit of a challenge in itself because you gotta get the angles right and kind of have to get everything pretty much perfect or spot on, to say the least. But the habitat starts to fall in place, and so that's just for the other barrier. And then I do have a custom like window fence that I put in, that I built custom, same as the fully built log fence. And just taking a look at what these Specticaled Caimans actually need in landmass, they got pretty much a decent amount of land, and building them a little like circular moat around their habitat in the middle, and to also give them like a bit of a center island type of feel, you know. And here I began to placed down these other custom fencing with the window pane inside of them. I do decide to get rid of the window pane because I put one-way glass in there just to kind of, so that it really, the animals don't really get too stressed out. And I could have moved the fence a bit closer to finish that edge, but I was being a bit lazy with it, but it's alright. This habitat really didn't really need that much done in it, so it's just a bit of copy and paste pretty much, and just getting some foliage in there. And what I do decide is that here's me placing that one. I'm gonna start placing the one-way glass, but eventually you will decide I put down this rock that looks just absolutely marvelous. And trying to get that one-way glass in here was a bit of a trick because of the null barrier. It does become a bit difficult sometimes to work with, but I got it to work the way I wanted it to, so you could say that much. Having to fix the barrier in itself is a bit of a pain in the butt, but it gets to work, you know. Just making sure that it's even with the posts, and I'm just going to let this run, and yeah. Also, guys, when you are building a Specticaled Caiman habitat, make sure, or any like crocodile, alligator, reptile, make sure that the water for them to swim in is deep enough. Otherwise, there's really not have it deep water. It doesn't have to be a lot of water space, but make sure it's deep because they do like to swim underwater. And I did kind of remember that I forgot to put a underwater feeder for them because they do go in water, of course. But I mean, for what I placed down and built for them worked out okay. And just placing these deeper in the ground so that they can get at least a little bit on land. But yeah, it turns itself around. Turns out to be a great project to build this spectacle caiman habitat, and they're really cool animals to begin with. Just very small like alligators. It's pretty much what they are. So to kind of see them doing their own thing, and yeah, pretty cool. Just getting the land all smoothed out for them so they can kind of get in and out wherever they need to go. Yeah. I still really haven't really watched them actually try and go into the water or so. I'll probably go in there afterwards and see. Once we do our tour, you guys will be able to check them out. But yeah, like I said, building the center island and just getting the rocks placed in there so they can also go up there. The water does kind of rise to a point where they can, and I decided to put the Amazon water because if you look at their picture and you go to like the Zoopedia, the water in the Zoopedia that they're swimming in is pretty much the exact same. So getting them in there is pretty much a lovely deal, and I thought it was a barrier problem, but it was just a pathway problem. So I did place those barriers for no reason. Yeah, just getting them in there. I decided to put 3 of them in there, so 1 male, 2 females, which works out just wonderful actually. And I decided to turn off all the welfare options off because I didn't find the point of it. We're in a sandbox mode. I really don't want animals' welfare to kind of get in the way of bringing out our full potential, if you know what I mean. But yeah, these little reptiles are very, very small. I mean, not very, very small, but they are small compared to regular alligators or crocodiles. But yeah, I placed this dead tree in the water. The floating dead tree kind of does put a bit of a, I don't know. It speaks to me. I think it really does speak to me. Anyway, and placing these dead trunks everywhere kind of gives them a rustic feel to their whole environment. Some dead trees. Yeah, and placing the foliage there wasn't really much I could really play with. These reeds looked pretty good. The not elephant grass, but they are reeds. And I didn't really find too many options for trees like small enough and thin enough for them to kind of do their own thing. And even just foliage in general there wasn't really much for me to play with. I decided to go with this autumn kind of tree that it looked good. It looks good. So yeah, there wasn't really much foliage I could play with, and just playing around with the grass textures and some more foliage trees and bracken and all of that, and just to kind of tie everything in slowly. It all turns out to be fine in general. So yeah, we'll see you guys once we get to the tour. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to see the spectacled caiman. Just looking through the barrier here, see if we can spot one. Yes, we can. Let's go into explore mode, where we can act as a guest. And just seeing the spectacled caiman swimming in the Amazon water that we have built for them. They're kind of Amazon jungly. I don't really say it looks jungly, but we'll see if I'm gonna try and get it a bit better, spruce it up later on. But I mean, it was pretty much a bit of a lazy episode, to say the least. But I mean, everything turned out fine, I think. So yeah, you can see one that's walking on land there. Let's see if we can get a different angle. So cool. I think I like these little crocs. We got one sitting over there. I have 2 females and 1 male. So I'm not sure which one is which, but let's get some aerial shots of how these little guys look. Hey there, little buddy. I think you're female. What is your name? We have Adriana, female. And then we have ourselves Isadora, is another female. So that means that you, little guy, are Emerson, our male, 17-year-old male. So pretty rough there on age there, guy. Got a bit of mist seeping through, but yeah, I wasn't really going for like an Amazon feel for them. I might do that with a different croc, but for them, I wanted to do something a bit personal and kind of collective for them. So I think I like the way it turned out. The grass and the trees and all the foliage and rocks turns out amazing. They have plenty of space to swim and do their thing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tour of the Spectacled Caiman. We're gonna see if we can get some graphical shots for you guys so you can take a better look at them. Enjoy. Hey, did you enjoy this video? If you did, please click on the next video for more fun, and don't forget to spread positive attitude. Have a great day.